Well, hello everybody, how we doing? This is the Random Name 951, and I'm here to bring a little kind of show and tell video today. And no, we are not talking about the Vita. We are talking about this right here. Yes, that is a PlayStation 3, and you can see it is sold, and that is because I bought it. So let's take a little look at what we got here on the desk. So this is a PlayStation 3, and this is a backwards compatible model. So meaning this PlayStation 3 is able to play the 3, 2, and 1 PlayStation games, which is very cool. Only a select few models were able to do that, which was the Catch A01, B01, or E01. The A and B are more of the preferred kind of holy grails of the PlayStation 3. Some people call them kind of like the Cadillac models, because those PlayStation 3s feature the system on a chip, or SoC for short, meaning that they actually had the chip that the PS2 used to run PS2 games built in on the motherboard of the PlayStation 3. So it's like you're getting more of a true backwards compatibility with it in comparison to which this one is. Unfortunately, this is a E01. It's still backwards compatible, however, this uses emulation. I forgot the exact name for it, but basically it uses some sort of emulation to play the PS2 games. Nonetheless, it's still backwards compatible, which is very cool. And a couple ways to tell that. I'll give you guys more hints. You might have heard about the 4 USB ports. That's definitely a big one. One I go by is if you see this chrome finish on the faceplate here. That's definitely one way to tell the chrome faceplate. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see these little 3 dots on this little cover, and that's for the extra kind of storage options, such as the Duo Pro, which I believe that's for the PSP, the SD card, and I'm not sure what that is exactly, but yeah, so that's what that's for. So that's how you could tell a couple ways. If you see this, the 3 little dots on this little cover. Big giveaway is always this here, because a lot of times when people are taking pictures of their PS3 for sale, you won't be able to see those USB ports. And people are like, you ask them these questions and they're just trying to sell their items. They don't really know what they have half the time. For instance, I bought this, and this was something that a person bought from a storage locker. So they bought, and like they basically bid it or bought a storage locker that was ready to be cleaned out, and this is one of the items in it. So it's kind of trying to save some of the stuff, and it was $100. I was able to talk the guy down to 75, and uh, from there actually got a couple more things from him, which he had, which was some extra controllers. And I'll get into that right now, but we're going to focus on the PS3. So again, 4 USB ports is a big one on the front. The chrome finish on the bottom, as well as the face, this part here. And sometimes this will be missing, so you'll just see this part open. That's another way to tell. So give me a second. Yeah, so I just barely picked it up today. I haven't opened it or nothing. And it's just so nice to see these things. I mean, sadly they're gonna be out of existence, and you won't be able to find them anymore very soon. And I would say right now is a great time to be looking for these damn heavy 10-pound weights. These things are like heavy as hell. But yeah, I mean, everyone's trying to sell their PlayStation crap right now because of the PS5. I see PS4s going for less than what these sell for, which is, I see people selling them for like 150, 125 for a PS4, which is insane. So if you guys are looking for a PS4, I will say jump on those right now while the prices are down and down, because once Christmas comes by, I'm not sure what we're going to see as far as PS4 sales. I mean, they might be as low as $199 with bundles of games and stuff like that, so we don't know what's going to happen. But right now, the market for if you have a PlayStation 4 is not looking very good. I guess it kind of correlates with this. When this came out, it was like $500. These are starting to go back up in price. I mean, these could sell for like $200 in pristine condition, but as you can see here, this one has a good amount of scratches, and you can see Let's see if I get a kind of a focus on here. Yeah, you can see here this is a Catch E01. So again, the more coveted models people look for, including myself, is the A or B01. The more hard to find rare models, of course, is the DECH, which is the developer model. They're just like developer consoles, you know, that were sent to companies developing games and stuff like that, kind of like dev. And I've seen one for sale actually nearby me, but the guy wanted I think like 250, which is not terrible for the rarity of them, but it's just it wasn't something I would want to get. I mean, I am a collector, but probably something down the line I will look into. I mostly am looking for an A and a B01, preferably a B01 because the trim, that silver trim in the front I showed you guys, is a glossy black. It looks super clean. It's kind of reminiscent of how some manufacturers, car manufacturers, like for instance Honda, they have the Honda Accord, and the trim on the grill has a either chrome or it has like a glossy black, kind of piano black finish on the grill, and that's kind of what it gives me a reminiscence of. And yeah, so the B01 has that piano black kind of trim instead of the chrome trim on the front, and it looks so damn clean. And those have those own differences too. Like for instance, the A01 has a Wi-Fi built-in, has like a Wi-Fi card built into it on the motherboard and stuff, or there's an extra component that connects to the motherboard. The B01 is Ethernet port only, and it was kind of a way to reduce costs. Like the B01 was supposed to be the cheaper model because it had less storage, 20 gigabytes, and then it had a couple other features missing, like with the B01, there wasn't any extra, you know, part for using, you know, that Pro Duo memory or micro SD memory. And again, it didn't support Wi-Fi unless you plugged into the USB. Like there's an adapter you could buy third party. But yeah, the B01 was kind of the lesser version, and because of that, it wasn't bought in as many numbers. I mean, you're basically already spending 400 to 500 bucks on the new PS3, so might as well go out all out and get the larger capacity, 60, I think it was 60 gigabyte A01 with the memory, the Wi-Fi chip on it and everything on that. But yeah, so, and what's really cool about this one, it's actually decently clean. The box it came in, somebody must have bought it from GameStop, the owner before the people who bought it from the storage bin, because it had a GameStop box. So that's kind of interesting. And yeah, I just want to start it up with you guys because they showed it running. I'm not going to run it too long because it is pretty dusty, and I'm pretty sure the thermal paste is not as good, of course, as it was. And we know Sony using crap thermal paste doesn't work very well. Oh yeah, and check it out, guys. It still has the original factory warranty sticker, and this wasn't tampered with. Oops. Oh, hold up. Sorry about that. So yeah, like I was saying, has never really been tampered with because you could keep those warranty stickers on, but people are able to break this part off, the top lid, and still work on it. And this one has not been touched in that way, luckily. So this might be one of those PS3s I might send to NSC Mods to hopefully one day get fixed up. I'm really hoping to find a B01 I could take to him, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, let's just see if it starts up. They did show it starting up on the pictures, but I want to see for myself. I need to fix this because, okay, there it goes. Yeah, this is a common part to get lost or broken on these because, you know, when I'm pretty sure when kids would rebuy these back in the day from GameStop, you know, they just mess with this and just rip it off, and that was the first thing to just go. I can hear the fan, but it's very faint. Oh yeah, I'll show you the other stuff too. Let that run for a little bit. So I was really surprised. I was really surprised that how good of condition the controller that came with it was in. I mean, this is one of the cleaner DualShock controllers. Is this the one? Yeah, this is one of the cleaner DualShock controllers I've seen. It does have a couple of scuffs and scratches, of course, but I mean, it still looks really good for its age. I'm trying to figure, is that the one? I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and DualShock 3 controllers are not as easy to come by nowadays. They're a lot of these PS3 controllers are like third-party knockoffs, even though they have all the official-looking stuff. They're like cheap clones from China. See here, it's got a good amount of weight to it. And then I have another one here. You can see it has like the silver barcode. Now this one I'm a little skeptical of. It's a bit more beat up, but you can see how this is the red variant. You can see even here it's got some pretty deep gouges. But you can see this one doesn't have that metallic kind of barcode, so I'm not sure if this is a legit one. May or may not be, but it was a DualShock 3, and I was able to get the guy to give me the 2 extra controllers for 10 bucks each. I mean, even these controllers, 10 bucks isn't bad per controller. Especially this one, because I'm pretty sure this one's the actual original DualShock 3. It's kind of hard to tell, but I would say something to do with the sticker. Let's see here. And yeah, there's a couple games. The games I don't really care about because, yeah, I mean, the games are a dime a dozen, but this is a kind of cool one that we need to play. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Balls 2. And Assassin's Creed, not too much of a big fan of this franchise. After the second one, I was kind of done with it. I played, I think, Revelations, or it's the one with, I think it's Altair, when he's like all old. It's like one of the third, I think the third one. Pretty sure this is a good game, but got that. And this is something that I would probably play, Sniper Elite 2. Heard kind of crazy stuff about this game, but it looks cool as heck. You can see we still have it running. It needs some love, obviously. Probably a little bit of waxing and buffing, but I mean, very happy to have another E01, another backwards compatible PS3. I actually have 2 already. Believe it or not, my first one I bought about a year and a half ago, and I bought that. Luckily, that was super local. It was like maybe less than 5 minutes from my house. Hear the fans be kind of kicking up, and that I picked up for 20 bucks. Came with 2 controllers, HDMI, and everything. And I was surprised that worked. And then I picked up another one OfferUp, and the guy shipped it to me, and that one was like about 60 bucks with tax and everything shipped. And both of them sadly had kind of a messed up case. There was like some parts where the screws were missing because the plastics, they were open before basically. I think one was open and one, the guy dropped the console on its side and like it was like lifting up, so it wasn't too pretty. But yeah, there's not too much more to talk about. I mean, I kind of want to show the Vita because I feel like when this was in kind of its early stages of being made, it's more reminiscent of the PS3 than it is the PS4 in my opinion. You know, it still has that, it has that premium look how the PS3 does. And again, guys, if you're looking for a PS3, I recommend your local ads, Craigslist, OfferUp. I mean, even the swap meet, you might get lucky. Go to your local Goodwill stores, your Salvation Army. You never know what you'll find. I was just looking at this guy's video earlier today, and he found the B01 model, and he got it for like 50 bucks with, you know, basically the console system and everything minus games. But I mean, it, like he explained, those consoles go for an easy $100 and up all day, so he could easily double his money. And it's not even about doubling your money for resale. Some people it is, but finding these kinds of old gems, it's more about collecting and being able to experience it. The whole nostalgia factor, especially like I said, when these things came out, man, these things were costing you at least $400 and up, and you didn't see the prices go down until we saw the slims come out, and I think those started going for like maybe 250 or 199, or probably closer to 250. And then when we saw the super slim, it was like maybe 199 to 149 or something like that. So yeah, guys, try to get your hands on a PS3 while they're still around, because they're like 10 years old, and they're just getting up there in age, and eventually it's going to be hard to find any good working ones. Like I said, if you guys are looking into getting your PS3s repaired, or looking into tutorials how to make your PS3 more efficient as far as heat wise, because the sad thing about these older Cadillac with quotation Cadillac models, the more high-end models, is that they suffer from overheating issues, and that's mostly because of cheap thermal paste, and that you have the motherboard, especially the A01 and the B01, they have that extra PlayStation 2 chip that's working on the board as well, and that just contributes more heat, as well as the power supplies being over the CPU, and all that heat just causes the motherboard to fail and die. And if you have something like this where it's never been opened, you definitely want to open it up, clean all the dust out at least, and apply some new thermal paste, and that will help a little bit. But eventually, as NSC Mods explains in his videos, like I said, I highly recommend you guys watch him. Eventually my battery's getting a little low. Eventually you will have to take off the internal heat spreaders that go over what's called the RSX in this the CPU, the cell broadband engine, and you will have to, it's called delidding, take them off each one, because the thermal paste under those heat spreaders has basically died out. It's old, and it doesn't allow for optimal heat transfer from those two chips onto the heat sink for optimal cooling. And that's a big thing. What causes these things to die is just the overheat, mostly because of poor heat transfer. And if the heat transfer doesn't kill them from overheating, then the lack of heat transfer causes what's called the neck talking capacitors to die out, and then that will cause yellow light of death, which is here your PS3 will turn on, then it'll turn off, it'll beep yellow, then it'll beep red, and then it won't turn on. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that when you're looking to get one, I would say don't run them too hard until you actually get into them and start doing some maintenance. At the very least, open it up to clean out dust, especially on the fans. The fans collect a lot of dust, and at least applying some new thermal paste onto the outside of the internal heat spreaders, because I wouldn't recommend, if you're novice like me and you never really even touch these things as far as opening them. I know how to open them now, but I wouldn't recommend trying to take off those heat spreaders just yet, because it's so easy to damage your PS3, and then you're left with like a $10 paperweight. Like I said, these things could be worth $100 just for the console alone. So it's not really optimal to work on something that's working like this. I would say get yourself a non-backwards compatible model, like I think it's the L01, the K01. I think there's a G01. I could be wrong. There's a bunch of other models, but I would say look for a fat PS3. Instead of having the chrome, it has like a matte gray. It's not shiny. And those are ones I would recommend kind of tinkering with, or even looking for a broken one and just kind of messing with the motherboard, so you don't have to worry about destroying your baby, because I've done it to one E01 already, and I'm not about to do it again anytime soon. So that's just my tip to you guys. And sorry for the long video and the ramble, but I hope this video was kind of helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the content for today. Until next time, guys, peace.